Inventions. Although pretty much no one knows it, no matter what beliefs, ideas, perspectives, or assumptions that you have about anything, they are inventions, which means they are not existentially real. Anything that is conceptually generated to serve a purpose cannot be an inherent aspect of existence, and obviously they are not objective. Clearly, they were not aspects of existence before their invention. This is not to say that you have much of a choice about whether or not to adopt many of these inventions: self, society, culture, language, mind, interpretations, and more, because that's where most of the world in which you live is created. If you want to participate in this world, you need to adopt, or at least know about, and make the distinctions of, the inventions that make it possible. But that doesn't make them real. As a kid, if you wanted to play the game of make-believe, you had to adhere to what was made up in order to play the game. But it was still make-believe. It is the same with all this. It's just not known as such. Most people have a hard time getting that many experiences, such as language and self, mind, and society, are inventions and not existentially or objective realities. So to tackle this, we need to grasp that these inventions are actually conceptually generated. But they seem so real. We use them every day, and most of our lives are lived through them. It really seems as if language is a natural, almost biological function of our reality. Self certainly seems self-evident and present as a real and solid experience of our person. How can these lived experiences be inventions? To get how this is so, start by grasping that at one point, just like cars, phones, and refrigerators, language didn't exist, and then it did. Clearly, it only exists because we created it, and it lives within the fact that each individual has learned it and uses it. In this way, it becomes a constant part of our everyday lives and a familiar and commonplace activity. It also produces so much of the experience needed in order to relate to others and live our social life, and probably make a living. Language even appears to become the centerpiece of our thinking or mind through our internal dialogue. The importance of language isn't in question. The fact that it is an invention is the point. We know that phones, refrigerators, cars, and so on are clearly objective inventions, and they're probably also central to our lives, even though they are inventions. Conceptual inventions are no less central and no less invented. It may be hard to grasp, however, that yourself is an invention, but let me clarify. Here we're not talking about your existential nature, whatever that may be, nor the existence of your body. In addition to these, you also have an experience of being an inner self, the one inside, the conscious entity that you identify as not as your body, but perhaps residing within it. This is largely based on and founded on the idea that you are at the source of your perceptions, and so is reinforced by the existence of your internal dialogue, which we have already seen is itself an invention. From these kinds of conclusions and assumptions, a conceptually generated experience of you being a self residing within your body, and usually inside your head, becomes a taken for granted and central aspect that constitutes the core of your self-experience. But I claim this too as an invention. More on inventing the internal self later. Society as a whole. Social reality is invented. Society is based on agreements and values, culture, and collective identity. And in our modern societies, many added contributions exist, such as shared language, how we think of mind, the invention of an unconscious mind, human rights, even what it is to be a self, and so on. When we look into it, we see it occupies the largest slice of our personal experience and world. Again, all of this is conceptually generated to serve a purpose and so is invented. Grasping these shared and powerful experiences, our inventions, is one thing. And we may have no desire to stop using some of them, even though many inventions are dysfunctional and unnecessary, and cause or contribute to our challenges and pain. If we don't experience them as generated, we can't change or stop doing them. Even our perceptive experience of the real world is crafted around many such conceptual inventions, and the resultant behavior we engage because of both objective and subjective experiences determines our relationship to life. Can you see this dynamic operating in your experience? To be clear, these conceptualizations are not most often experienced as minor or superficial activities. In your personal world, conceptual inventions create the experience of yourself, your beliefs, your world view, your self-view, and so on. These are actually conceptual activities created by you. They are inventions and therefore can be changed or eliminated, but they are not known as such. Consider this point. Don't just gloss over it. Certainly, there are many fundamental and agreed upon inventions we share that make our interactions workable. Language, politeness, general rules of engagement, shared values, and so on. Although they comprise most of our shared world in which we live, and so are difficult to change, some are ineffective and damaging, and it's useful to consider what those might be. Likewise, there are many self-inventions that are dysfunctional. Prejudices, judgments, projections, opinions, blind beliefs, assumptions, jumping to conclusions, points of view, and so on. These should be scrutinized and ruthlessly challenged. It can be hard for us to sort out which is which in our own case, since whether useful or dysfunctional, both are accepted as our self-experience and view of reality. Yet with critical inspection and detached observation, we can begin to discern which personal mental activities are detrimental to our overall well-being and growth. Many of these kinds of self-inventions are founded on our beliefs and assumptions, perspectives, and cosmologies. To be clear, cosmology is a word I use to loosely refer to our personal views about the world and reality and how it works. It is generally comprised of adopted belief systems and unrecognized assumptions about the nature of reality. Beliefs and assumptions that aren't aligned with what's true or factually or are factual are rarely useful or effective and are often dysfunctional. Yet if we don't recognize them as inventions and are therefore conceptually produced and something we are doing, we can't drop them. In some cases, dysfunctional beliefs might be rather obvious, such as a belief that you are worthless or that all others are evil liars. Rationally, you can see that these kinds of beliefs will limit and degrade your experience of life. But even though you might be able to recognize that some belief is disempowering, you may not be able to easily drop it because you still believe it. See the rub? Only when you can get it is something you are doing and that you don't have to do it can you stop doing it. There will be beliefs that seem justified and serving self-preservation that are neither. These can be beliefs that you're attached to simply because you want to be, even if unconsciously, not because they empower you. But this reality is overlooked. You may also well have cosmologies or perspectives that darken your world or push you into a dysfunctional corner. But without these invented realities, a much more open relationship to life, which includes many more possibilities, could be available. To pursue this introspective work, one question you can ask is, does this invention, belief, view, assumption, perspective, opinion et al., really empower or free me? Or does it limit and degrade my experience? Remember, everything you experience should be up for inspection. Within this conceptually invented domain, what you choose to take on creates the degree to which your personal world is free, successful, or satisfying. Most people have no idea that they can change long-held beliefs and assumptions. For them, it seems that such beliefs are fixed and simply a reflection of what's real, but they aren't. You can stop generating any invention. To further delve into this world of inventions, let's look at several inventions that aren't really known as such. Instead, they are simply held as aspects of existential reality. When we press deep down into such overlooked realities, we create another crowbar to pry open more doors to the truth.